Story 1. After waiting for 5 years, I finally got pregnant with my son. There was so much fuss about the name choice because my in-laws wanted to use my deceased BIL's name. My husband sided with them and insisted we go with it, but seeing their obsession with it, I refused. My husband then sat with me and we agreed on a name we both chose. When I was at the hospital, I had dealt with some complications, and I had to extend my stay since I had to get blood transfusion as well. My husband handled paperwork. However, when we received the birth certificate, I discovered that he put BIL's name and not the one we picked. I lost it and had a breakdown, then I shut down completely. I stopped talking to him after telling him that I won't speak to him till he changed the name. He kept saying, "Good riddance," at first, but slowly started complaining about how my silence has been wearing him down. Days went by, he's now turned to full on begging me to speak to him over and over. He said he had to do this, otherwise his family were going to shun him. He handed me a paper with all the pros of keeping this name, explaining that our son will be the golden grandchild, and my in-laws will favor him over the other grandchildren cause of his name. Said he'll get endless privileges like college fund, car, inheritance, and will be loved unconditionally cause he has his uncle's name, but I don't want my son to be BIL's surrogate. It's sad cause my husband's always seeked his family's approval, but Bill was the favorite. He offered me endless nicknames, second middle name choice, but I wasn't having it. Eventually, he broke down crying last night, calling me stubborn and difficult, also called me selfish, robbing our son of a good life and good future provided by his grandparents, and said I was driving him crazy with my silence. But I feel like this too serious to let go. I'm just doing it for my son. Am I wrong for choosing this as my hill to die on? Story 2. Not my main and on mobile. I, 25F, gave birth to my son, Jacob, 6 days ago, who is a bundle of sunshine and joy and everything wonderful in the world. My baby daddy, Chris, 27M, has not been in the picture of anything since I found out he cheated on me when I was 4 months pregnant with not 1, not 2, but 8 other girls. So I kicked him out. He was staying with me for 3 weeks total after he got kicked out by his roommate for reasons that are really specific, so I'm not saying it. We were going to do the cohabit parenting style and the whole 9 yards until I found out about his infidelity. So I don't know where he's been staying, and nor do I care. So he already signed over his rights, legally, and the court was involved, but will still pay monthly child support. We also opted to discuss visitations on our own with a chaperone. Certain things have surfaced with the law that I did not know about until just recently, and he has obviously agreed to them. He has not taken interest in our child at all. For example, I gave him a sonogram of our baby over lunch one day and he used it as an ashtray to take out his cigarette. He has also claimed I cheated on him and the child isn't his. I did not cheat, and completely cut contact with me a month ago. So I had my mom and sister in the delivery room with me and we decided names after he was born because I chose to have the gender a surprise. We named him Jacob, in honor of my grandfather, and the middle name after my mom's brother, and my last name since I never married the dude. I did the Facebook post about him and everything, and then a few hours later I get non-stop messages and calls from Chris calling me all kinds of names, basically an asshole, for not including him in the name decision making. He told me he wanted him named after himself. He's a junior, and he wanted my son to be the third along with the middle name after his uncle. I moved towns and everything to be close to my mom, who is on my side, saying that he's a deadbeat and doesn't deserve anything. My sister told me she can see why he's angry, but she's also on my side. So aita? Edit. He was also livid that I gave Jacob my last name instead of his. He said his lineage was dying as he's the only son. Story 3. When my wife and I got married, we had long discussions about our morals, how we wanted to raise kids, etc. I was excited to be an equally involved father and ended up being a sod after she went back to work following 2 years of maternity leave. She had 2 years some, I had 3 as a sod, and then she went part-time when our twins were in preschool and kindergarten. We always agreed we were going to practice authoritative parenting and treat our kids with respect and kindness. We wanted them to feel safe talking to us and regulating their feelings, and we didn't want to teach them that just because someone bigger than you says to do something that you have to. All in all, I'm extremely proud of the people our kids, now 16F and 16M, have grown to be. They are kind, studious, creative, empathetic and all-around wonderful people. However, like all people, they aren't without flaws and sometimes there is friction. Lately my daughter has been wanting more independence. My wife and I originally agreed that we knew from our upbringings that being extra strict doesn't always work, and if there are things to rebel against, then kids will rebel. This is what we decided would work for us and our family, not trying to preach parenting lessons to others, so we've tried instead to be collaborative. Well, last weekend my daughter wanted to go to a party at a friend's house. My wife and I said yes. When she got home, my wife took her phone from her and started going through her texts and photos to confirm she was actually at her friend's. I was livid when I found out, as this seemed like a gross invasion of privacy to me. We talked about it and she said it wasn't a big deal, but she wouldn't do it again. So I thought it was a one-off, but then yesterday my wife took my daughter's laptop and threatened to take the door from her room if she found out she was talking to boys. My daughter has never even been given a rule not to talk to boys, so this all seems insane to me. Last night again we discussed why she was doing this. She said she just wanted a bit more discipline in the house as our kids are too relaxed. But again said she would drop it. Well, now today my wife asked me to help take my daughter's door and I pulled her into our room to have a private conversation and things got heated. I told her I felt she was being extremely irrational and bullying our daughter and implementing insane standards they have never had to or should have to expect. How is our daughter being punished for a rule that never existed? I threatened to leave her and take the kids if she didn't start reflecting on what she was doing and start respecting them as people again. She burst into tears, called me an asshole, and went to stay at her sister's. Her sister has also said I'm an asshole. What is happening here? Story 4. Title is pretty self-explanatory, but my mill has taken almost 2 years to meet our daughter, and to be honest I am pissed. When she was first born, it was in the height of the first wave of COVID in my county and the states were locked down, not allowing for interstate travel, so I could fully understand her not being able to come down, but our states have been out of lockdown for over a year now, and in the past 6 months she has bailed on us twice. First time was just before Christmas. She had planned to come down, but then her adult daughter was moving out of home and she wanted to be there for it, so she cancelled. The second time she was driving down, got literally halfway here and got the news that her friends she was also meant to catch up with while here had COVID and were in isolation, so she couldn't see them. So in her exact words, she could see the point in coming down. When she said that, I was pissed. She finally ended up coming to see our daughter last week, but to be blatantly honest, I'm still so upset that she took so long, and that she was here for 3 days and spent maybe 10 hours with our daughter. She was more worried about spending time with her friends. My partner thinks I need to cut her some slack because of COVID, but I honestly don't think I should. She has had ample time and opportunity and just never wanted or cared to meet her. So aita? Story 5. So I'm 26M. I'm a huge March Madness fan. Like die hard. I've been making brackets and following the sport since I've been 6. I typically take the first 2 days of the tournament off work, which is why I'm home writing this post. My girlfriend of 3 years is Lindsay, 26F, and she has a sister named Carolyn, 30F. Carolyn is getting married this weekend. This is Carolyn's 3rd marriage. I won't go into all the details about the first 2, but she's a messy person and the problem. I'll leave it at that. I went to the 2nd wedding a few years ago, and when I found out about the 3rd one I wasn't shocked. They asked me to be an usher before they even had a date set. So they set the date as this weekend months ago. When I saw the date, I told Lindsay I wouldn't be able to go. She knows all about my obsession with the tourney, but she told me that she needed me there and I would have to skip it. I told her that wouldn't be happening. It's a once-a-year thing. That me and my friends get together for this, and it was important to me that I get to see my friends. We argued a bit, but eventually she said, "Do whatever you want." So I texted her sister and told her I wouldn't be able to attend. Her sister got on me about why. I didn't feel embarrassed to say why, so I told her. She didn't really say anything and ended the conversation. So they saved me a spot at the wedding in case I changed my mind. And Lindsay has been upset with me all week, saying that I don't have to stay the whole time, which I know is BS because my GF is maid of honor. I said that her sister is still planning on me being a usher. So at the very least it's Friday and Saturday commitment. Rehearsal dinner Friday and all-day wedding on Saturday. And I'm not gonna be that asshole on his phone watching basketball the whole time. So it would just be better for everyone if I'm not there. I'm still getting text from Carolyn and Lindsay's mom about why I'm not coming. Lindsay is now lashing out and calling me a child for not being able to miss 2 days of a basketball tournament. I told her that I would go to Carolyn's 4th wedding no problem. But this is the one date she shouldn't have picked, knowing their tournament started in March. Aita? Story 6. Here's a little backstory. About a month ago, my brother, M17, let's call him John, asked if his friend, F20, let's call her Sarah, can stay at my house as she just got kicked out of her home and she could sleep in my room. A couple days after Sarah has been at my house, they announced that they are dating. And my mom was upset as John made it clear that he was just helping out a friend and she now has to deal with her underage son with a 20-year-old girlfriend. Because of John's age, my mom talked to the couple about no sex whatsoever under her roof, at least until John turns 18, and they both admitted to having sex once and before Sarah moved into my house, and my mom was fine with that as long as they follow her rule from then on. Sarah then lost her job due to COVID and had bills piling up for her car payments, and my dad has been paying it off until she gets back in her feet. Through a friend of mine, I got her a job and was meant to start a few days later. Fast forward a week, we find out that Sarah is pregnant and ended up not taking the job. The night that Sarah moved in, she got her period, and my mom put 2 and 2 together and find out that Sarah and John lied about having sex since she moved in, as she shouldn't have gotten her period the day she moved in if she was pregnant from when they had sex before she moved in, and my mom was really upset. I am the only daughter with 6 other brothers in my house, so Sarah has been using the bathroom in my room as it is more hygienic than the bathroom in the hallway that 6 boys use, and I don't mind this, as well as John's room being significantly smaller than mine. I've talked to my parents about the rooming situation, and they both said that everything Sarah did was her choice and that it won't change anything about the way we live. But Sarah has been dropping hints about wanting my room for John and her unborn child, and I brush it off as I am only tolerating her because she is pregnant to my brother. I don't really hate her, I just don't like where her priorities are with her life, as she is 20 years old, she just got kicked out of her house, has car payments that my father is still paying off, and is now pregnant to my underage brother who hasn't worked a day in his life, and she posts on TikTok like she's living her dream life with her baby daddy. I also found out that she has been drinking and taking drugs with her friends while being pregnant.